you would think they would be the same car given the fact that they have the same engines, transmissions, and were made at the exact same time. I want to make a video really to just actually show the differences between the cars. So I'm going to drive them both and talk about them just a little and do a general little walk around and show some of the odd differences between them. So starting with the Z8, these cars are basically mostly identical under the hood. There's a few small differences. The air boxes are different looking between each car. The oil filter housing is now back here, which I think is kind of a cool location. But one of the funniest things is that I like, that you can see because we have both cars side by side, is this intake manifold. If you look back here, you see how this has this weird like angle recess on it to give it clearance. That was only for the M5 to give room for this thing, and you can see why it was put there now. But it's funny to see that they just left that same exact manifold, stuck it on there, even though it didn't really need that extra clearance anymore. Otherwise, they're basically the same thing under the hood. Where these cars really differ, though, is the entire subframe on this is completely different. This car has the steering rack in it, a whole totally different aluminum front subframe, and different front suspension and everything that makes this car drive realistically totally different than this car. Pretty much everything that BMW is making in the year 2000 looked and felt the same in the interior, but reimagined in a different way. It was the same controls, the same buttons, the same, same swooping dash, all that stuff. But this car is totally different. All of these little stalks are like special high quality feeling. The steering wheel, it looks like it'd be flimsy, but it's really, really rigid. You can't flex these at all. This whole dash with this leather stitching across it is just, everything in here feels exclusive. But you'll also find that there are virtually no high-tech features in this car. Unlike the M5, this car has no onboard computer. You can't check your fuel economy. You can't check your range. Any of those basic things that a BMW could do, this car doesn't do it. It doesn't have that cool little light like the M5 has when it warms up. It doesn't even have an oil temperature gauge, despite the fact that it's an M engine. It's very Spartan in here. These climate controls, there's just 3 arrows. This doesn't even illuminate at night. Only this little tiny piece right there lights up at night. And you just got to remember, up, left, right. That's it. It's very minimalistic. So in the M5, in comparison to that, this unfortunately is not a full leather interior M5. So we have the lower end dash and stuff. But even the pieces that are leather wrapped in here, they're nice, but they just don't compare to the quality and care that BMW put into a Z8. Like, they were really giving it their all with that car. But on the upside, this car feels a lot more durable in the interior. I feel less likely that I'm going to accidentally scratch a piece of the interior and it's going to be really noticeable, like red leather would be. And you get all of the other nice amenities. Like, this car just has a dual zone digital climate control and a nice gauge cluster that gives you information, oil temp gauge, the warm-up lights, a steering with buttons on it, all sorts of modern amenities. Not that really any of that matters. You're not buying the Z8 because you care about that stuff, but it is a little bit strange to see that, it was completely lacking in that area. One of the most novel things about this car to me has got to be the neon lighting that it has. And the other kind of cool thing about this car on the back is the way how these lights are set up. Instead of having 2 reverse lights or 2 rear fog lights on the car, they just opted, we'll put a reverse light on this side, we'll put a rear fog light on that side. It's interesting to note that, though, although BMW was playing around with lighting on the Z8, with using neon and stuff, BMW is also playing around with this car because this is the car that really started their angel eye headlights. Although this is a 2000, it's been upgraded to have the angel eyes from the 2001 and up model. And it's kind of nifty to see that BMW is really kind of trying to pioneer a lot of different lighting things, and some of it didn't really work out too well, and some of it's still around today in literally every single car almost on the road now.